Well, let's talk about how far Vince was willing to go with another bit where Hornswoggle is his son. Do you remember Vince getting frustrated with that, or was that just a fun thing for Vince all the way through the end?
It was fun, but I also think it was kind of wearing thin. And when you look at it, it's time to move on and
Yeah.
maybe Hornswoggle. Because Hornswoggle, look, man, he could be an attraction. And to not be able to utilize Hornswoggle on live events and get him out there is shortchanging him and the promotion. See what I did there? But I think that for Hornswoggle and for the company, the best thing to do would kind of let's move him beyond Vince and take him somewhere else.
And now something I can't believe we're going to talk about. This has been discussed a little bit here and there on social media as a real head scratcher. And even when I first saw it on social, I said to myself, Self, do you remember that happening? And I do not. The Nasty Boys are in a dark match here in 2007, beating Dave Taylor and Drew McIntyre at SmackDown tapings. Meltzer would write this. The Nasty Boys tryout may have gone well with the live audience that popped big, seeing them as first stars on the taping and as a surprise, but not so well backstage. They were criticized for playing to the crowd and delaying the show, and it was felt they worked too stiff with McIntyre and Taylor. It delayed the start of SmackDown, so they were running late and had to rush to get the ring ready for ECW by its live 10 p.m. start. This is just amazing to me. How in the world in 2007 is there a Nasty Boys dark match?
Well, Conrad, I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
I came back in 1987. I remember sitting at Vince's house, myself, Joe Watts, Pat Patterson, and Vince. And Vince was talking about how we need to go and we need to shoot these vignettes with superstar Billy Graham. He's going to have hip surgery, or they had already done the hip surgery, and they had shot the hip surgery. They had videoed the surgery. Superstar was going to make his comeback. Now, all that Vince had seen was, well, actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I don't think Vince ever saw a picture of Superstar, a video of Superstar, or anything of what Superstar looked like in his current condition. But he was talking to Superstar, like, quite often, and he was like, I got the 22-inch pythons, brother. They're huge, and the arms, they've never been bigger, Vince. And he's going on, I'm in the best shape. I got a 32-inch waist, and I'm training every day. I'm running up to the top of the mountain out in the desert. I'm ripping off cactus and drinking the juice. And, I mean, he's cutting promos because it's on speakerphone. And you're sitting at the kitchen table and shit. And you're listening to this and going, hey, shit, man, wouldn't that be great for a Superstar return? And Superstar was one of Vince's favorites.
Right.
So as he's going through, I'm doing all this, Vince, is going to be great. I'll come back, man. I'm going to make a run for the title, and I can be your man. I can be your man you can get behind. And Joel goes to Arizona to shoot vignettes of Superstar, with the tarantula. And,
yes.
And up on the, if I took my shirt off, you would see how huge his guns are.
Yeah.
Massive. But I remember Joel calling me and going, yeah, Superstar is not in shape. I was like, what do you mean? He says, no, he's like not in shape. I said, oh shit, man. He goes, did you tell Vince? He goes, well, Vince thinks, by the time he gets back, he'll be in ring shape and he'll be ready to go, because I don't think he's understanding what I'm telling him. So Joel comes back, we show him the vignettes, and we had to be very creative and judicious in what we showed from what was shot, because you really couldn't show him with his shirt off because he was a little soft. He had, gut. I'm not throwing stones. I got a gut. I wore a white suit. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't taking my shirt off.
Right.
So I'm not throwing stones, man. Superstar was in great shape compared to a lot of people, but he wasn't Superstar Billy Graham.
There you go.
He wasn't, the man of the hour, the man with the pouch, is too doggone sweet to be sour. He wasn't that guy. And bald head. He had the weird goatee and everything, different colors and shit. And Vince just like heard what Superstar told him and took him at his word.
Yeah.
Fast forward. That was 1987. Now we're in what, 2007?
20 years later.
Nasty Boys. You're listening to the Nasty Boys. You're listening to guys that are friends of the Nasty Boys. Oh, man. Yeah, they look great. They're the Nasty Boys. I mean, you know, you're not looking at Superstar Billy Graham type physiques anyway. They're the Nasty Boys.
Right.
Even for the Nasty Boys, it was like, oh my God. They were large. They were really out of shape. And it was not good. But as a favor, and it was as a favor. Vince always liked the Nasty Boys. We all did.
Yes.
Sure, man. Come on in. We're in Tampa. You live in Tampa. We're going to be in Tampa. Let's do a tryout in Tampa. And put them out there. And I think that the pop that was alluded to earlier was just maybe the pop for the Nasty Boy music.
Right.
Being the first match of the night.
Right.
That it's like, yeah. And it was not a good tryout. It was pretty bad, as a matter of fact. And they were out of breath, and then they wouldn't get out of the ring, and they don't understand, you know, we're gonna be live, pal. So that was kind of the story of the Nasty Boy tryout.
You ever talk about that with Drew McIntyre? Obviously, he's become the man in years since, but here, man, he's just cutting his teeth. He's one of the youngest guys on the roster. I think he's like 21 at the time, and he's given the task of a Nasty Boys return here. And
I think that Drew probably at the time would have been happy to be in the ring with the Nasty Boys and just happy to be able to say, hey, I worked with the Nasty Boys.
Well,
given the same scenario, maybe a few years later in Drew's career, like when I saw him in TNA, I don't know if they would have been, that happy to do it, but then I think he was just, yeah, let's go.